Hey everyone, I'm Ian Douglas, the author of the website techinterview.guide. I do live streams every Sunday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern about topics relevant to interview preparation for the tech industry. I occasionally record longer Q&A sessions, and I've started to break those into smaller videos to post. And there'll be information at the end of this video about how to get in contact with me if you have additional questions. Let's get to it. So someone asked in chat, best type of questions as the interviewer to ask to figure out a developer's tech skills. I think that was one of the ones at the bottom of the list. The best types of questions. So as an interviewer, the kinds of questions that I ask you are really to kind of suss out how much of that topic do you know. Like if I've got a job opportunity for a Python developer, I'm going to ask you lots of different kinds of questions about Python to find out how much Python you know. And, you know, as soon as I start to kind of get a sense of like, oh, okay, well, that's about the limit of your knowledge, I may still ask a couple of additional questions, not to make you feel foolish because, you know, at some point you've said, I don't have an answer or given me some indication that, you know, that's the limit of your knowledge. If I ask more questions, that's not me, you know, making you feel silly to have to repeat yourself saying, I said I don't know, like that's all I know about Python. It's really just, you know, like maybe there's a little bit extra that, you know, just by asking a different question, it like jogs your memory, for example. So like, for example, if I ask what CRUD is, and you're like, oh yeah, that's like create and read, but I can't remember the other two. And then I start asking some other questions. You're like, oh, update and delete. That's what the other things were. And so sometimes by asking additional questions, it can sort of like trigger your memory a little bit. And so we may keep pushing on questions to try to find out what are the limits of your knowledge really. Follow up in chat. I used to do behavioral questions and then have a dialogue. Behavioral questions are definitely a part of the interview process, although you're less likely to get asked behavioral questions from like a peer engineer or a peer developer. You're more likely to get asked those by HR and management folks, because they want to know, like, tell me about a time when. That's basically every behavioral question. Tell me about a time when communication between team members didn't work out. What did that look like? Or tell me about a time when you know, you took responsibility for something that that needed to be done, and you didn't want to wait to be asked, and you just took initiative. Those are questions that are going to be asked more from like an HR type of person or a manager type of person, as opposed to a peer developer. Peer developer, they're going to be asking you about technical things because they're in the trenches. They're working with those technologies, and so they're going to be the ones to really ask, like, what do you know about the programming language or the framework or the libraries they use or test-driven development or just day-to-day, like how do you use Git? How do you do code reviews? Like those are going to be asked more by like a peer developer during that interview stage. Hey, thanks for watching. I love helping people out with interview prep, and I hope this video helped you in some way. If you found this Q&A useful, please consider subscribing. You can follow me on Twitch as well for the live stream twice a week. Check out techinterview.guide/streaming for more information. I also have a daily email series that you can subscribe to on the website. There are never any ads, and when you finish the series, I scrub your information out of my database permanently. Finally, if you have a question that you'd like answered on the stream, you can find my contact info on techinterview.guide. I prefer LinkedIn or email. If you leave your question in a YouTube comment, it might take me longer to find it, but I'll see you next time.